Okay, so I finished measuring both the left and the right clutch plates, and again this measurement was done with the shim being 0.085 inches, and the spring was not included in the measurement. So it looks like the old clutch packs were a little thicker. It may be because they're still wet with grease, and the new ones were actually a bit smaller. So I think the net of all this is they're about the same. I'm a little surprised that the new clutch packs are actually not as thick, but I'm going to just stick with this 0.085 shim that was originally in there. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was one of the major differences is, like I said, in the 9.75 differential is this spring. And what you have to do is, once you build these clutch packs and set them back inside the differential, you actually have to figure out some way to compress this spring. And I saw on YouTube and online some folks were using just a regular 2.5 inch long bolt. It's 1/2 inch thick. So a 2.5 inch bolt you buy at the hardware store. And I also bought some washers at the hardware store. The idea is to this inner washer will fit down in the groove there, and this outer washer, which is a little bigger, I think it's a 3/4 inch hole, will press against the gear. And I'll put this inside the differential and use it to compress both the left and the right clutch packs. So if you want to build one of these, this is what it looks like. The other thing I did was I found some nuts that had a wide flange on it to mate better with the washers. And I also the washers I got were 5/8 on the inside and 3/4 on the inside. So I found some 1/2 inch washers that would fit inside there, and I had to grind the inside a little bit, but that'll help keep this tool centered while I'm compressing the springs. And the other thing I wanted to show you here was I want to go ahead and assemble one of these clutch packs. So in the Ford procedure, they recommend you soak the pads in this friction modifier, and this is some pretty nasty smelling stuff, and they recommend you soak it for some like 15 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and build one of these clutch packs and get it out of the garage here outside where I don't have to smell it. And I'm assembling the clutch pack as they have it in the instructions that came with the kit. So I'm going to start off with one of these spacer plates here. A spacer plate followed by a friction plate, followed by, let's see, another spacer, friction plate, spacer, friction plate, spacer, and let's see, and then the final friction plate and the shim. So the shim goes there. It's on the outside, and then the spring. And you have to put the spring on in a special way, and that's also in the instructions here. So if you look at the diagram here, it shows the on the inner diameter is where the spring goes, and that's exactly how I have it. Is just like in the diagram. Okay, so I don't know if earlier we talked about the thickness, measuring the thickness of these clutch packs, and it kept bothering me that the newer clutch packs that I installed was actually about the same thickness, and if not, maybe a little bit smaller. And I kept wondering, well, shouldn't material have worn off after 160,000 miles, and these should really be smaller? So the only really thing I could think of is that possibly what happened to this old clutch pack is that over time this surface got glazed over or smoothed down. I noticed, like on the new spacer rings, that if you feel it, it feels like a really fine sandpaper, where the old ones it's very smooth and easy to slide. And you could also say that about the friction plates as well. These are now very smooth, and probably that's the reason why the slippage was occurring in these. Okay, so here we are coming to the most critical part, actually getting your differential back together again, and this is the part I've been dreading. So as you can see here, we got the 2.5 inch bolt in there. I had to actually take a washer off of each side, so there's only one washer on this side and one washer on that side. It was a real bear getting that in there, and I've tried to compress the springs as the clutch disc springs as much as possible, but I did notice that this one washer is starting to bend, and so that's what's kind of stopped me from spreading the and compressing the clutch springs anymore. So at this point I'm trying to get these pinion gears back in place. You can see in the back here I have one sitting there ready to go in, and the plan is to hold one axle shaft on the driver's side still while we turn the axle shaft on the passenger side. And someone's actually going to help me do that while I sit here and try to feed in both pinion gears at the same time. Once the pinion gears are in there, the pinion gears will be the ones that compress the clutch packs, and then I can take this little tool that we made out. So that's the plan. I also made this other little tool. This is I bought this at the hardware store. You go get a 1/2 inch cap end from a sprinkler, and I just mounted it on a piece of aluminum. And this is so when we're turning the axle shaft, I can get in here and hold that one pinion gear in place, and I don't have to worry about my fingers getting squeezed. So I'm going to go ahead and put the other pinion gear in place, and then we're going to try to turn the axles. So the pinion gear also has this little washer disc or something, and that has to be twisted in as well. So I got that in place there, and I'm going to put it right over here. And now we're going to try to turn the axle shafts.